making sure that people are accountable for big things like this.
How are you feeling today?
Tired. Nervous. Today I'm expecting to get answers. I would like somebody to finally tell us what the MCAS system was truly for, because I hear back and forth it's a handling characteristic or it's to prevent stall. So depending on the day, you get a different answer, and nobody has been able to answer that. So I'm hoping to get that out here today, at least. And I've also like to know more about how they're going to prevent this from happening again. This is why we are here. We have lost a lot of lives, but we don't want that to happen to anybody else. Nobody else should have to go through this negligence.
Do you feel your daughter with you?
She's always with me. I have her with me. I have a coin I gave her 7 years ago when she went to university, and it said always with you. We haven't recovered that, but I still have mine, so she's always with me.
What's important for Muilenburg in terms of accountability for you?
We would like to see justice from the people who certified the plane. And we feel that it was knowingly that flying the plane with one AOA sensor and not have a dual redundancy into the system was a root cause of the problem. So it would be nice for people that were involved in this to step down and remove themselves from their roles.
Thank you.
Where there's a lack of judgment, good judgment, where someone has erred or has tried to hide things, that just wraps my heart with, or calcifies it, and it prevents me to fully grieve. And hopefully when this is all over, I can properly grieve, but it'll probably be too late. But I still have pains where I think about my daughter, her beauty, what she was doing. And, it pains me, but it also pushes me, because she wanted justice. And she's speaking through us today. So she would have been here for sure if she was not on that plane, because she had a friend on that plane too. So she's here. She's here today. Thank you.
Okay. You stand on this side of me, Pam. I'll talk to them. No, you stay where you are, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. We are from Italy. We are Andrea Tusa and Vincenzo Tusa. I'm sorry for my English. We are here because we lost our father in Ethiopian airline crash in 10 March. And in Italy, unfortunately, the media don't talk about this situation. So it's very important to be here after a long trip from Italy, because we had 18-hour trip, 3 flights to arrive here in Washington. For me, it's very important because our community, my father was a very important person, not only for our family, for us, but only for our community. He was the most famous archaeologist in Sicily. And since 1 year, he was a counselor for the Sicilian government for the cultural heritage. So until now, the president of the Sicilian government cannot find anybody else who can replace my father, who has his level of knowledge, experience, expertise, not only in archaeology but in cultural heritage in general. So after that, we are here to looking for the truth, because we did not understand yet very well what is really happened in the crash, and we are here also to try to push the FAA, but also the European agency ESA, to do more strict control on the planes, and I hope that if really this 737 MAX will be ungrounded, I hope that it will be ungrounded not only for I hope that it will be ungrounded when they know at 100%, they are sure 100% that it works well. Because I think this is the second crash, and it's an out. I think it was an out, the first crash. So I don't know if my brother wants to say something.
We are here to make sure things like that will not happen anymore, and hopefully this kind of system that put the profit at the first place, regardless of the security of people, because every day we know more news that people knew about these software problems, and we still don't know, because we don't still get answers, if this software is necessary or not to make this plane flight. So, and at the same time we are hearing like they are planning to bring back to the sky this plane soon. So we are here just to make sure to make sure this not happen again, hopefully.
That's very good. Do you hope to be getting answers from these hearings today and tomorrow, and meetings with other officials this week?
Well, we hope so. We hope so. We are here for this. We hope someone will admit his responsibilities, and yeah, we are looking forward to hear Mr. Muilenburg about this, and hopefully, because there is need, I think there is the need for them to disclose more details, because the public is not aware of many details that are kept secret, because they say it's a secret, this we cannot say about this is a secret. So hopefully we will get some answers. That's why also we are here today. And to put, as my brother said, in Europe, maybe because of Boeing is an American company, in Europe, in Italy, the government don't talk about this crash. Majority of the people maybe think it's just another crash that happened, another accident. But for us it's not the case, because of course it's the second crash in 3 months. So also for us Europeans, we also care about what the European Agency of Aviation will decide about this plane.
Okay, great. We have everyone here. Thank you.
I know I saw Danielle this morning, so sorry about the flag being bent. Maybe fix it. So we have the coffin picture, and we also have this picture.
Yeah, we can use these. Why is my rubies and my
Yep, they're right here. He wants this picture and he wants it. But just keep, you don't have to carry them both ways. I can just hold this in time. Who's Edna? Edna?
Nadia,
By his wife.
I know we don't have a picture for Samira, so I can take another picture.
Okay. Okay. No. I walked on security with a big card. I hope you didn't leave it at security. Did you? The big cardboard.
Tomra took it.
Who did? Oh.
Tomra.
Sure. Okay, everybody in the press, I need this aisle open here.
Wasn't strong enough to do that. I don't know.
All right. Let me just take that one picture for Paul.
We're done talking about the pain that we go through in our private moments with the people who cause that pain, both on the FAA side and on the side.
Paul's coming right now.
Nobody's been able to articulate that, even asking the FAA people directly. Forget all the specific technical questions we were asking, but I just asked them.
This aisle open, everybody?
It seems like
Nadia.
there's a lot of talk behind the scenes. Everybody's pretty much award rah-rah, American industry.
I just want to tell her that Brooke is coming for yesterday.
Comprehensive and okay. No commitment that any of that will actually apply to them.
It was a fun day just to spend the three of us together. When that I will always remember. Lily will always remember. Unfortunately, her phone hasn't been recovered, so the funny videos that we took while we were there aren't around, but they'll always be in my mind.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's very nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
How was Boeing blaming pilots for these crashes?
Boeing unconscionably and inexcusably blamed pilots after it, in effect, hid the MCAS system from them. And when they came to Congress in the aftermath of these crashes, and they said it's the inexperience, it's the lack of expertise, they must have known that, in fact, the documents show how Boeing purposefully and deliberately concealed the MCAS system.
You talked about them coming to your office. Can you tell me about that, how they came to your office?
They came to the offices of all senators, maybe a lot of the members of Congress too, as part of a very concerted campaign to explain away the need for fundamental change. And I regard that meeting as either deliberately misleading or recklessly inept.
How would you characterize Boeing's handling of these crashes?
Boeing has to recognize its responsibility going forward to change the system, now broken, of oversight and certification, to end the outsourcing to Boeing and other manufacturers of air safety responsibility, to end a system that, in effect, puts the fox in charge of the henhouse and puts safety second rather than first.
Do you understand how the rest of the world thinks the whole system is broken? Boeing's not telling the truth. The FAA seems to be out of the loop. The senators and congressmen seem to be on the pay of Boeing. The whole system seems broken.
Well, the system is broken right now because the FAA has to be changed in its culture. It has to end outsourcing. It has to have the expertise and determination to protect safety, and that's true not just of Boeing, but of all of the manufacturing.
Senator Tester said he'd rather walk than get on a Boeing 737 MAX. How do you feel about that? When will you be ready to get back on?
As of now, I'd rather walk than fly in a 737 MAX, and I'll be willing to fly on them only after an independent authority does a review that satisfies me that it's the judgment of outside experts, not Boeing, that prevails here.
Why would the Boeing CEO phone President Trump?
The Boeing CEO called President Trump to keep those planes in the air and succeeded for a little while, largely, I think, to prevent the kind of public relations disaster that they foresaw rightly, resulting in the unfolding catastrophe that we see from the documents. If not for these documents, we might have a much more limited window, if any, into the events that led to this catastrophe, disasters within the review and certification process.
Boeing is talking about trying to get this plane back in the air in the next few months. The changes you're talking about, could this possibly be made in that time?
Well, the changes necessary to reform the system need not all be made before Boeing returns this plane to active flight. There has to be an independent review with the expertise and determination to make sure that air safety prevails. In fact, waiting for reform is probably unnecessary here, waiting for reform of the system as a whole for a drill down on the safety of the 737 MAX, which has to be done by an independent authority.
I'm sure you're thinking, if they lied to you about the MCAS, what else did they lie about?
Well, one of the questions is, why is it taking so long for the 737 MAX to be corrected if there was no real certification, no proper certification at the outset, maybe there are other aspects of the plane that need to be reviewed as well.
Senator, did anything you hear today satisfy you? You said you don't want the plane to fly in part until you're satisfied with the answer. Did anything satisfy you today?
If anything, I am more deeply dissatisfied, in fact angrier, because the questions about reform were ducked by the CEO, questions about when he knew about the apparent deliberate concealment of this computer system, MCAS, from pilots who would have to fly it. There are more questions than answers resulting from this proceeding.
You know, I was struck by this as I was listening to the hearing, and
what was going through your head listening to that apology?
Some of that day was hard in the sense of it was frustrating. We didn't hear too many answers. There was a lot of rhetoric. I'm glad the senators were very persistent and tried to get down to the bottom of some answers. So the things that were frustrating for me mostly were hearing that more and more. Every time we do this, it's, since 2016, there was an opportunity. There was an opportunity to prevent not just one crash, but two. And so we certainly know that our crash was a preventable crash. Yeah.
Was that enough of an apology for you?
Oh, no. No. When he walked in, it would have been nice if he actually looked at us, had the decency to just look at us. Even if he didn't say anything, just be aware, we're here.
It's been a long time. I mean, a lot of people have apologized as far as, Ethiopian Airlines, but, it's been a long time for that apology, and I guess it took to come, getting into a hearing room.
We are meeting with him, so I guess that will be his moment.
When are you meeting?
Is it this afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell me about your daughter.
She's a bright light. She was fun. She wanted to do a lot in the world. She, aspired to, as she said, I think in her blog, to lead a eco-conscious life and provide or service her communities and spend as much time outdoors as possible. She was one of those kids that wanted to do everything. She didn't have time to do everything, but she wanted to do everything. So she was pretty excited when she got the position as a UN youth delegate to go to Nairobi. She'd been in Kenya in high school, building a school, and that changed her life at that point in time, as she said, and she couldn't wait to get back. So she was fulfilling a few of her dreams in a short period of time. Mm-hmm.
How about the Canadian government? Have you heard from them? Have they done enough for you all?
Yes, we will say yes in this sense. Our ambassador, Canadian ambassador in Ethiopia, their team helped us out quite a bit when it came to repatriation. So from that sense, they were very supportive.
Yeah. The Canadian Embassy in Ethiopia has been awesome to us both times. I don't think anybody can deny that. And this time we were back and they, filled up our schedule. They took us to the crash site again. They took us to the embassy where Will and I were fortunate enough to help plant the olive tree the first time. And they helped us in and out of the airport and really escorted us on the day to visit our daughter's casket.
Haven't had really any communication with the Canadian government on this side, but that may change. I think we're going to be looking at talking to someone there shortly, just to make sure that they aren't going to be easily persuaded to allow the aircraft to go into the air. But it's been hard to get in contact with them. So
the UN office in Ottawa was very good to us too. They provided a memorial at the youth conference that was in Ottawa in May, I believe, and they've been good to us in that sense too. We actually Angela's boyfriend perpetuated a letter. He did a letter. He felt it was very important to let the Prime Minister know, Prime Minister Trudeau know of that, and Prime Minister Trudeau did respond to him. So, and we did get a letter from them. So, yeah.